Hi, hello, welcome back to the show. This is the Klemensas channel, and today we're going to meet our guest, which is Klemensas, also known as Clementine or Clem or whatever you want to call him. Hey guys, yeah, it's nice to be here. It's really interesting, pretty nice, warm weather. It's quite calm. So yeah, I just came back yesterday from a trip going to the border of Belarus, which took me a couple of days. And before that, a week before, I came back from Klaipėda from having another bit longer trip that took me a week. And it was all done by bicycle, only a short bit going back with a train. So, what do you want to tell us right now? What's on your mind? Why did you decide to go and do things like that? I know that you did a cycling trip last year, which was really long. So why was these like short ones this year? Oh, well, because I'm fucking stupid. And yeah, it's because the first one I tried, I wanted to do a trip to Estonia, but I kind of sort of gave up after 1 week. Because it just didn't feel fun. Weird, I know, in a sense, like just like riding 100 kilometers every day doesn't, it's not supposed to feel fun, I guess, for people. For me, you did, like, especially like last year, even when there were like hard parts, something was always like rewarding about it. Like I don't know, every like 20 kilometers or whatever, it would have something like rewarding. And this year it was just pain, mostly. It's like there's almost nothing memorable. And yeah, what's interesting is that I chose to go alone again, and it's because I think it is more meaningful going alone. I guess it could be more fun going with like a company, but I don't know, I haven't tried it, so I don't really know. But I think when going alone, it's like, it becomes like a real challenge. Even when you want to have fun, it's still like a real challenge of like trying to, I don't know, fight with yourself or live with yourself. So what you're saying is that it was really important for you to have like a spiritual journey while going on this trip, right? Well, I mean, I don't know, even right now, I'm doing this whole like podcast video / show thing, in a sense of just like talking with myself by myself and acting as if like I'm two different people. Because while I was writing, most of the time you spend is just like talking with yourself. And not even like in your head, you talk with yourself out loud because you need that connection. You need a feeling with like, to have a conversation with someone, and that someone is you, which is interesting because me as a person, I can really understand like both sides and like debate both sides. So it's almost like I have debates, and I don't talk to myself when I'm like listening to music. But when the battery runs out on like my wireless headphones, it's the only thing you can do. It's like you can't have an empty mind. It always becomes too difficult because then you focus on your like body too much, and then everything becomes tiring. Yeah, and I understand that it's tiring, but like it's still you're a bit like a crazy man, I'd say. And it's probably weird when you ride like somewhere in some place and like people see you and they hear you talking to yourself. I don't know, it might be weird, but I honestly did not give a fuck most of the time. It's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I don't know those people, they don't know me, who cares? So this year, the trips, I had like 2 trips already, and this wasn't like one week and then a couple of days one. And I don't know, they're both were kind of disappointing. Really the most fun parts were, I visited both of my grandmas in different cities, and it was really fun to hang out with them, like just alone. Because usually I go with like all of my family and siblings and whatever. So it was really fun to just hang out with them and like help them out. And also, what was really memorable is that I slept in dunes, like just like by the sea. I don't know, it was like 50 meters from like the sea. Um, it was cool. It was really cool. The waves were super duper loud, but it was calming, and it's interesting. So, what were the, like you could say, like difficulties or maybe even like lessons learned when you were going through like this trip, journey, whatever you want to call it? Because I don't know, from like last year, as far as I remember, we learned that to live in like Lithuania, it's really nice. It's a great country, and that people are good. People help out. People are good actually. But like, have you ever even like learned anything like this year? I don't know. The thing, even like you myself asking myself this question, it's weird because look, the things we learn, we can unlearn them really, really fast. When we go back to like our, I don't know, like status quo almost, like going back home. Because last year I started like taking care of like my things of like my diabetes quite well when I was traveling. And even after that for like a couple of weeks. But then it like kind of fizzled out. Even the feeling of like, oh man, I love Lithuania. It kind of fizzles out and you kind of forget it. And I don't know, maybe these things somewhat stay in your like subconscious, but consciously you don't really think about it. And this year, what I really realized, I'm not the main character. Even though like it's funny because I'm filming myself, I'm creating movies about myself and whatever, but I'm not the main character. Wow, that's insane. Are you like I don't want to call us like super egotistical, but like that sounds really egotistical. No, it really does, but no one is against you. The thing I realized after going for like 500 kilometers of just straight up super strong winds blowing right into your face and it feeling insanely bad and depressing, because for your legs it feels like you should be going like 15 kilometers, like up 15 to 20 kilometers per hour, but in all actuality you're going like 7 to 10 max, and it's so insanely demotivating. It feels like bizarre. It doesn't feel like you're in your own body even. It's so weird. Like uphills, you like realize you can understand them properly. You understand why you're going slow. When it's windy, it doesn't make any sense because there's some like invisible force just pushing you back. And what I realized is that the wind is not blowing against me. The wind is just blowing. The wind is just blowing on its own way. It's not against you. It's not trying to make it harder for you or whatever. It's just doing its own thing. And that's a thing, that's like a metaphor you could put on almost anything in your life. No one is actually like against you. It's rare, very rare that someone's like actually trying to fight against you. Especially the nature itself, like nature is just doing its own thing. And that's the thing, everyone is just doing their own thing. And for your like ego, for your personal body, it might feel that it might feel that it's against you, but it's actually they're just doing their own, and that clashes with what you want to do or what you're trying to do. So that's a very, I would say that's like an invaluable lesson, even though these trips were hard and I don't really think of them really that fondly. Even when I visited some interesting places. But that's a great lesson, to understand that no one is really against you. I don't even know what to ask, because after this it's like, it really like a bit distorts the worldview of people when you try like thinking and looking at the world like this. Because I think it's like it's sort of like ego death. You die as a individual, kind of, and you understand that you're just like a part of this great organism called the nature and the world, which is like everyone just doing their thing, and at the same time everyone just trying to evolve the planet, the nature, and themselves and everything. What's interesting is that when I came home, even though this trip wasn't that long, the week long one, for the first 2-3 hours, I had to like almost like reintroduce myself to my house, my home, which was it's still like kind of difficult to tell you how it feels. It's insane, because when I came back to my room, it didn't feel like the same room when I left. Something changed, and I have no idea what. And this talking to myself, I'm trying with like these conversations, I'm trying to understand it, why it felt like that. Last year I was gone from my home a month, and when I came back, it's like it felt like everything stayed the same as I remembered, and everything felt nice and homely and good and warm. And this time when I came back, something felt off, like my house wasn't my house anymore. After those few hours, it felt okay. No, I'm back in my home. Exactly, not a house, my home. But for the first few hours, it's like I had to really be in the moment. I touched the cabinets. I smelled the air. I put my back against like the cold wall. I had to lay in my bed for a bit. I don't even want to talk too much about it, because it's kind of sad. It's weirdly sad. It's unexplainable in words. Maybe I'll be able to explain it the more time passes. Dude, relax. Let's just relax. Let's just go down, because I know that, especially this year, you just fucking cried a bunch while riding. A bunch. Some cries were like calm and just like maybe even felt like crying, but not crying actually. But it's like far more often than last year. Because last year it's like, yeah, we did cry. It's like sometimes you get lonely or whatever, or like, yeah, I don't know, it's like defeated, but it was still like kind of normal. And now it's like it was every day you're just crying, except for those days when you're like hanging out with like grandma or whatever. So I don't know, it's just fucking, it's strange, and it's good to let go of. It's okay, it's not shameful, but it's just like sometimes you just want to even like kick yourself in the ass and be like, man up. Man the fuck up, even though that's so fucking stupid. But still, it's like, man up, yeah, do fucking this, do that. I can put a check mark of what I actually like did. I visited this place, I visited that place, I visited this place, I visited that place, and it was cool. I saw those places, damn. And every place except for like literally the seaside was mad boring. I do not give a fuck. I have no idea how. Even though I'm the person who like understands the value in small things, it was just the combination of like constantly biking, wind blowing, going on like gravel roads, and like constantly just seeing like, not even forests, because forests I love, but seeing just like fields of fucking grain. Jesus Christ, it became boring quickly. I have in my notes that I don't know why, but like imagine a squirrel but it's sized like a cat. I don't know why. It just was probably like a funny idea to me or whatever. And yesterday, riding back home, it feels like every time I ride back home, the last day I have to ride is the goddamn easiest or the fastest day. And I don't know if it's just like I'm really motivated to go back or what, because it's just strange. It feels like I'm going like the fastest tempo I can go, like with all my stuff and whatever. It's it's strange, but it felt good. It felt good. It always, going back and like almost like revisiting my hometown, it feels good. It feels nice. It kind of gives me a sense of like almost being a tourist in a weird way, which is nice. It's nice to start like reevaluating things that have like had a value, but maybe they have like a different value now, or like it's even more valuable now. So yeah, that's good. Fucking talking to myself right now, it's like, shit, maybe that was good. Maybe at the moment, in moments it felt bad, but now it's good. Maybe I should really try going with a group of people and not just going alone. Even though alone it's such a good experience, you learn stuff. And it's like how people say, it's like when you're comfortable, when you feel good, those are the years that you kind of wasted the most, even though it's weird, it's strange. You should not strive for like always being in a challenged state. But in these moments you think, it's like, I learned so much. It was a great lesson. Maybe it wasn't such a fun vacation and how I thought it might be. But now I know more, and now I understand the world better. So I accidentally finished this on a positive note. And it really is a positive one. Because I love the world. It's not an accident that I choose to go on a bike and not just constantly like travel with a car or whatever. I want to experience it. I want to really understand how it feels to actually travel when putting in your own energy and giving that energy and like getting back that energy from the world, from the food, from whatever, from the sun. So I love the planet. I love what people have built. And with all this, even though I have diabetes and I shouldn't be doing this, I want to prove maybe something. Even though I think I wrote in my notes that why I failed this time and didn't finish my triple hike how I wanted to is because I didn't have anything to prove to myself. That's the thing, to myself. It's not like nobody gave a fuck that I like last year did like 2,600 kilometers. Nobody really gives a shit, but to myself, I cared. I wanted to do that. I had to prove something. And now I didn't have, but I think a new thing that I want to prove is that we can all do this. We can. And we can help our planet. And we can help ourselves. Traveling like this, it's not just like a good thing for the planet and the environment. It's good for ourselves. Not just in a spiritual way, but in like in your body. So now I just realized that I did prove something. And even when you give up, it's okay to give up. You don't have to inherently always one-up yourself. You don't really have to do anything. Sometimes it's okay just to give up and maybe stop and go back. That's why you have like a steering wheel. You can go back, you can turn back and then reevaluate and maybe try a second time. And maybe try a second time. And maybe now, you know what, I'll try some things that I've already failed in for a second. Some things not even a second. a third, a tenth, a hundredth time. Because why not? It's fun. You can always go back. So that's the message to you, I guess. Nah, man, whatever. Let's finish it here.